Hi, my name's Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and this is the new Elite Exhalt. It's new out, came in my shop today, and I wanted to do a review on it, so show it to you, see how it is, and discuss it, and show you the new box. Well, there's no new box, it's the same as all other boxes. Some bow companies come out with new pretty boxes. Elite don't. They obviously don't value coming out with a pretty new box. It's the same box as all the other Elites. It has all the information you need on the end, and that's quite good. Okay, so if you're looking for a new fancy box, you have to go to one of the other companies. Right. Exhalt, 35 inches axle to axle, brace height of, I think, almost 7 inches. It's all on this little spec chart here, and it's probably best for me to throw it up on the screen. It'd be really good if I could see almost 7-inch brace height, mass weight of 4.8, draw length from 24.5 to 30, and up to 90% let off, and a speed of 337 feet per second on smooth mods or 344 in performance mods. Okay, so Elite versus other bows. I'm probably going to sound like I'm doing a sell job for Elite with this video. I've never shot this bow, okay? I make the same on any bow I sell, and I sell all the bows from every manufacturers in my shop, okay? What I like about Elites, and this is not about this bow or about bows in general, and any bow I like, is adjustability. I like the ability to adjust the draw length, okay? I like that. It makes my life easy. It makes the customer's life easy. Everyone's life's easy if you've got adjustable draw length. Okay, I can't stress it enough. I had a kid come in my shop the other day, and he said, I want to have a shot of some bows. And I'm going to say his draw length is around 25 inches, and he shoots 45 pound. And he goes, I want to shoot a Matthews. Well, that's a shame, because my Matthews is 70 pound. Now, you'd say, Stephen, you should have modules. And I'm like, well, I should have a module at, what, 25 inches at 50 pound? Never sell one. It's like, this bow, you can adjust the draw length, right? Now, one of the issues is going to be, and on most of the top of the line bows, is how much you can adjust the poundage. On this Elite, you're limited to 10 pounds. And why you're limited to 10 pounds is this here, the limb locking system. It's on both sides, so you have to loosen these screws off here. It only gives you 10 pounds. If you try and get more than that, the limb bolts will just try and it'll just go, whoa, I've got no tension here, and it's a bit scary feeling, right? I would like bows, top-end bows, to have more than 10 pounds of adjustment. I understand why you do it, but I'd like there to be more than 10. And it'd be simple on this bow. It'd be simple on all Elite bows. You just need to make this a little bit longer, and maybe have the Allen key a little bit longer. Then it'd be amazing, right? If you could have like 20 pounds of adjustment, even 15 pounds of adjustment, change the world, right? So I like draw length adjustment. First thing, the Elite, you've got all the draw length adjustment. You can change the size of the valley, because this is the little thing here where this here will touch the cable. So this is a cable stop. You can change the valley from being a big valley to a little valley. But Elite is even better than that, because you can fit a cable stop on here. Sorry, a limb stop. So the limb stop fits on one of these little holes here to change the feel of it. So if you don't like the feel of a cable stop, you can go to a limb stop to give you that rock solid wall. Now, I find the cable stop perfectly fine. Now, I listened to a review on another person doing a review on this, and he said, oh, look, I don't find the valleys as solid as other bows. You can make the Elite bow the most solid in the world by fitting the limb stop. So it's like, I don't know, that was just a bit depressing from my perspective. Now, this comes with the smooth mod, which I think is good, right? I use the smooth mod. I started with the performance mod. Performance mod is just going to be a little bit more aggressive to draw back, and it's going to give you a bit more speed, because it's a bit more aggressive to draw back. You don't get anything for nothing, right? The bigger draw length means the bow's going to be a little bit slower than a bow that's shorter. A bow which has got a bigger brace height here is going to be a bit more forgiving, because it's less twitchy, which means you're going to shoot the bow more accurately, more forgiving to shoot, right? It means aiming this bow, it's going to aim more steady on the target than a bow with, let's say, a 5-inch or 6-inch brace height. Okay. Now, Changing the draw length on this is easy. It's just a couple of screws here and you just rotate the module. There's on Elite's website, it tells you what letter is what draw length. It's really, really simple. It would be really good if Elite put that little chart either in the manual, in the Elite manual, or just threw it in the box with the bow. Because it means I wouldn't have to check up the website. That would make my life easy, it'd make the customer's life easy, and really it doesn't cost Elite anything to do it. And while it's great, it'd be really good if they did that. And they can do it because it's on this card. Like if you did it on this card, it would just make everyone's life easier. It's just probably something they didn't think of, right? But I think of it because I'm a shop owner, and all the time I've got a customer comes to my shop and his draw length's 26, and I've got to walk into the office, look up on a computer what letter I need, and then I set it to that letter, and then I test the customer to see if it should be shorter or longer. But this, changing the draw length on this bow is one of the easiest. Okay, I'm going to say adjusting a PSE is probably easier, adjusting the draw length, but this is good because you've got so much adjustment in draw length and the valley and the feel. Now to change to performance modules, you've got to buy yourself another module, and they're about $170. And that's Australian dollars from the top of my head. Look, it's fairly expensive, but it's got that whole range, and I get it all the time from people who shoot Matthews. They've got to buy 5 or 6 modules. And it's like the modules on a Matthews, I'm going to say cost about $90 in Australia. And they're buying about 5 of them, so you're up to about $450. Look, buy a module if you want to buy a module. I'm not suggesting it. The thing that's really good with Elite, and I'm going to say Bowtech, two bows you can tune without the use of a bow press. You do not need a bow press, and you don't need anyone there. You can do it yourself. And it's simple. It's like so simple, it's seconds. The problem is you can stuff it up. Don't stuff it up. So to do it on the Elite, it's just this little screw here, you just move it left or right. So one of my friends, he's got a Hoyt, and he wants to get his broadheads to shoot the same as his field points. It's a real pain for him because he doesn't have a bow press. If he had an Elite, it'd be like 2 seconds. Literally 2 seconds. It's an amazing thing to witness where you just go like a little tweak and the grip just comes together. It's amazing. I like this limb locking thing. It's like fantastic. And I'm going from my memory. I don't think Bowtech's got it. They may have it, right? But I don't think they do. And it's one of the factors I really liked about Elite. PSE don't have it. They used to have it because this could come loose. This just locks it all in place. It's simple. It works. It's a good thing, right? So for me, when it comes to adjusting bows, I put 2 bows on the top of the list as far as adjustability. One's Bowtech and the second's Elite. You can argue which one's better, but they both have got tunability, draw length adjustments, and with the Bowtech you can flip from performance to smooth. With the Elite, you've got to buy the module. Okay, I prefer the Elite as far as the feel, because I feel like I've got more adjustability on the valley. The feel, because I've got cable stops, limb stops, I just feel like I've got complete control over how I make this bow feel. And I like adjustability. Like, I don't do it much, I just set it and shoot. But I feel like I like the ability to be able to make adjustments. Okay, so I like all that. Now, you've got a roller cable slide here. This is really good, and it's fairly standard these days. Everyone's got that. Stops these cables moving backwards and forwards, which basically makes the bow a bit quieter. Makes the bow a little bit quieter, a little bit less vibration. It's a good thing. With the Elite, you can move this left in and out here. It's very simple. Simple is great. I love simple, right? Okay, so that's all been done before. Elite's had that on their bows for a few years now. And I really appreciate it because I come from the period where Elite had modules and it was a nightmare to adjust peeps. It was just a nightmare to work on the bow, right? Which I would have said in the videos. Back on the bows before Elite had the rotating modules. It was almost not worth selling because there was so much work. And this is just like, you sell an Elite and you're like, You're going to be happy. I'm going to be happy. There's just going to be happiness everywhere. All right. So, okay. The Exhalt. Elite had the Remedy, which was 34 inches axle to axle, and I shot all the Elites. I shot the Envision, the Remedy, and the Verdict, and the results, and I shot about the same scores with them all. They dropped the Remedy, and they've come out with this at 35 inches. Now, this is the Envision, which I really liked. I'm going to hold them side by side so you can see the difference. It's not great, right? The difference is not great. One's 31 and one's 35. The difference between 31 and 35, well, a hunter's going to say, well, this is more compact for the bush. But really the difference is how far the peep is away from your eye. That's the difference. I shoot the same scores with them all. I just find the longer axle bows, the peep's a little bit closer to my eye, and it feels a little bit more comfortable. Because on the shorter bow, because the peep's further away from my eye, I need a bigger peep. When the peep's closer to my eye, I can go for a smaller peep and it just feels more comfortable. Okay, so I love the Envision. It's 31 inches. I really, really like it, right? However, it's 31 inches and I just find it more comfortable when the peep's close to my eyes. This is my Verdict. It's the bow I shoot currently. So let's hold them up alongside of one another. You can see there's not a lot of difference between 35 and I think it's 38 or 37 for the Verdict. The weight's almost the same. Before doing this video, I was like, well, where's the center of this bow? I'm going to explain that a little bit. If they put the center at the grip, the bow's meant to aim better. The problem is the arrow's then not in the center. So some companies have different cam sizes, different for top and bottom. Some companies have different cams for top and bottom, hence the hybrid cam or the solo cam. Right, so Elite has... So what Elite do is they put the center kind of like there is the center. So the arrow's a little bit high, so they're trying to cope for the best of both worlds. And look, I think it works. I've shot scores with all bows and I shoot really well with my Verdict. I'm going to wish I could say I shoot better with the Verdict than I do other bows. And I don't. I really don't. But I feel like I could. I feel like if I practice more, I'd shoot better scores with it. I feel like the bow aims really, really well. Okay? Right, so what's changed with the Exhalt? Now, you've probably seen a video on other people, but... And I might miss bits, right? So, Elite has put a Piccadilly mount on the front. Really, like, when I say clever, look, it doesn't really worry me. I'm not a Piccadilly guy. I don't really care, but there's lots of people who do care. Now, when PSE fitted this little thing bolt on onto the front of the bow, it was so annoying to me because to fit a normal sight like this to the bow, it means I had to detach it, which means I just put it in the box, which means I've got a good chance of losing it. What Elite did is they made one side so it was flat with the bow, so that way I can leave it on there, so if you fit a normal sight you don't have to take it off. They molded this into the riser so you can still take it off, but it makes no sense to take it off. Very, very clever. Simple and clever. Elite also fitted Piccadilly mounts to these limbs. Now they're part of the system here, which I really like. It's not that I feel like they've got anything for them yet, but I feel like if Elite produce a bow stand for this Piccadilly mount, I feel like it'll be like a Matthews on steroids, because it'll have all the bits that Matthews don't have. It'll be cheaper. It'll be more reliable, and I laugh when I say that. It'll be more reliable, and it's just a smarter bow, right? And this will be like better than what Matthews has got, because the Matthews bow stand is really, really cool where it clips down and down the bottom. So I feel like that's really clever. They've got the ability to fit their rear stabilizer system there, or there. I feel like there was two, or there. They've got two stabilizer mounts there or there. That's good. Two side mounts there and there. Now, Elite has machined out this here where the sights are more than the Verdict. I like the machining down here. I think this looks nice. I think this looks really clean. The Elite paintwork is really, really good. Okay, I've had no issues. Warranty wise, I'm going to talk about warranty on Elite. I've had no issues. I love having no issues, because if I have no issues, customers have no issues, then we're happy. Okay, it makes my life easy. When you have warranties as a shop, it's just a nightmare. It's just like I've got to wait for the manufacturer to make the parts or send the parts, or sometimes they wait for the shipments. Look, it's pretty good. All right, so I have had no issues with I have had no limb failures. The only issue I have is when people dry fire the boat. Then you got to wait for a new set of cams to come in, and sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't. Okay, so the strings on Elite are very good. They're winner's choice, so you have no peep rotation. So if people want to fit a normal peep to their Elite bows, there's no issues. Love that. Makes my life simple. Makes my life happy. The string quality. I just did a thing on the Matthews strings, and they were like all bumpy and lumpy, and these strings are nice. I've got no complaints. They're nice. My only thing I'd say with Elite, so the Elite standard strings are always grey. It'd be nice if you had an orange Exhalt to have orange strings. It's a little thing, but it would be nice. But this is where we're up to. This grip feels like all Elite grips. So if you feel an Elite grip, this is what this feels like. It feels like an Elite grip. The balance is good. It just sits there. I like the Elite grips. It's my favorite grip. Okay, so it's one of the real reasons I probably I shoot an Elite. The grip, I'm a big fan. I haven't shot this bow before. We're going to shoot through a chronograph and see what speed we get. This is a gold tip velocity, weighs 327 grains. This bow should be set at 29 inches. And should be set on 60 pounds. Okay. It's always scary the first time drawing back a bow. Right, so to start off with, it's very firm to start with. I'm not sure why it's any different to my Verdict. Maybe it's in my head. And maybe as I start to shoot, it'll feel different. My Verdict, I can shoot all the time at 60 pounds and I have no issues. Just dropping in the valley and it lumps into the valley. That's amazing. It's so good. That was a fast arrow. Unfortunately, the chronograph didn't register a speed. So good. There's nothing. There's no vibration. There's nothing. The bow just doesn't move. Right, this is one of my target arrows. Let's see if we get a speed this time. I'm not getting speeds, it's too overcarved. But now, it drops into a 90% let off. I shoot recurve at 50 pounds, right? So I don't like the high let off. So for me, I'd move these stops forward so it's not so big a valley. I find the Elite aims really, really well as far as my sight pin doesn't move around. I don't get any of this I get with other bows. I get a lot of this with the shorter brace height bows, right? So you're aiming and you're getting that type of feeling. I find Elite bows just aim really, really well. I like the draw cycle. It's got the smooth mods, so that's what I would shoot. Feels really, really comfortable. Let's take it back to 18 and we'll shoot some groups and see how it goes. Okay, so I'm back at 18. 1 arrow went in the 10, so it was a high 9, so I just moved my sight up a little bit and we're going to give it a go. So with the Elite, I find the bow aims really well, and I found that with all the Elites I've shot. I couldn't pick any difference between them. I find they aim really well, and I don't know if that's because of the design of the bow or the grip. I don't know. I just find I aim really, really well with the Elites. Could be the bigger brace height, but so the bows I generally shoot well with have got a bigger brace height, and they're generally smooth to draw because then I'm aiming at the target quicker. That's just my gut feeling on bows I've shot well with in the past. Axle, I've shot some really, really great groups with short axle bows, so it's clearly not axle. Some people say, oh, longer axle, it's more forgiving. It's not from my experience. I just find it's more comfortable with the peep sight, so with a longer axle. But let's see how it goes, and it's raining now, right? So I'm just doing it undercover, but let's see how it goes. Now I will say, because another reviewer said, look, the back wall's a little bit spongy. I can't feel that. I cannot feel it. It feels rock solid, which is why on all my Elite bows, I've never fitted the limb stops. Now when I used to shoot bow tack back 15 years ago, I used to use limb stops. I used to really love them. I haven't fitted them to the Elites just because I found the walls were really solid. But my view is, with a Hoyt or some of the Matthews, the valley is very small. With the Elite, it's a bigger valley. So I think that's what other viewers who do reviews who say the wall's not as solid as like a Matthews or as a Hoyt are trying to say. But if you want it more solid, fit the limb stops, and can't get any more solid than that. But to me, it feels really rock solid. I shot in the wind on the weekend, 50 kilometer winds. It was very gusty, and I was shooting my verdict as a championship, and I was cranking that thing against the wall as hard as I could to try and get solid. Didn't budge. I shot good. I was more than happy with it. So. Yeah, there's a fair bit of wind coming through this way, so don't be surprised if I shoot some off shots, but there's a storm coming through. We've had a lot of storms recently, like really high winds. Now on some 90% let off bows, I get back there and I feel nothing. Okay, it's like, well, it's a bit scary. I don't feel that with the Elite. It feels solid. I feel like I'm pulling it out hard against the wall. Feels comfortable. I would have left let off because when I get back there, I feel like I'm just holding not that much. And I don't know if I shoot better or worse with high let off versus low let off. I just haven't done enough testing with it. I've shot both and I've shot the same scores, so when I shoot this, I've got no peep sight. I've just got a basic whisker biscuit. Um, it feels great. It feels better than my verdict. Now, one of my friends has got a verdict, and he's got a PSE NXT 35 for field archery. Well, that's what he tells his wife the purpose of the bow's for. I could see that he would switch to this because the NXT is very good as far as the 35-inch bow. It's very forgiving. It's a lovely bow to draw. It's a lovely bow to shoot. I've got friends who use it for hunting, and they brought that bow and they've never upgraded because it's a really good bow. I can see people upgrading to this from that bow. So if you've got a 35-inch axle bow and you like the bow, I can see that you'd upgrade to this. Because it's just got more adjustability, it's got more tunability, it's newer, and you're probably like, well, I've had this bow for 6 years, I just deserve a new bow. I just thought it looked cooler. I really like this down here. When I think about buying a new bow, I'm like, will this look cool on the wall? It's not about the shooting. It's really not about the shooting. But this bow shoots great. Like literally, it's just dead. It's unbelievable. I'll just shoot one more. I can't tell where the arrows are at the other end. I've got a camera down the other end filming, so just hope it's okay. I always, when I do videos, I never reshoot. I just shoot it, and then however the arrows are grouped, they're grouped, right? So sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not so good, but it's a truthful review, and I've had some shockers where I'm like, oh, I should reshoot. And sometimes I actually think, well, maybe I should redo it. And when I do redo it, I get the same result. So I never republish the video. But this, to me, I've got the Envision, which I really like. I've got the Verdict, I really like. This, I'd be happy to shoot this for target. I'd be happy to shoot it for 3D. I'd be happy to use it for hunting. It's just, to me, it's a comfortable bow. It's fast. It's not blistering fast like a full throttle that I'm struggling to control. It's just that nice, it's just a lovely bow to shoot. Right, let's go down and check where the arrows are on the target. Well, coming up here, look, there's 1.8, and I'm okay with 1.8. You know, that's the reason why I'd shoot an 8 would be the hand pressure. I'd just be putting a little bit of pressure on it. But look, there's 1.8, 1.9, the rest are 10s. That's with the Whisker Biscuit, no peep. First time I shot. I'm pretty happy with that, right? So very happy with that. So when it comes to great bows, and you're like, actually, what bow should I buy, Stephen? It's really hard because there's so many fantastic bows on the market, okay? So what you've got to do is you've got to narrow it down to what characteristics are you looking for. So what axle size, what speed, do I want the tunability options, what am I looking for in a bow? Okay, so do I want a target bow, 37 inches? What am I looking for? Because when you come into me and say, well, what bow would you get? Right? Like, I like some of the carbon bows. I really like the PSE Max because they're nice and light. Not real keen on the grip. I like some of the carbon. I like the Elite carbon bow. I like the Bowtech carbon bow. I like the Hoyt carbon bow. Look, some of them look cool and I wouldn't mind hanging them on the wall. Okay? The Exhalt to me is, it feels like one of the best bows I've ever shot. The accuracy, to me, like it just aims really, really well. Okay, so what would I like improved on the bow? Right. So I'm really happy with the customer service on Elite is excellent. Delivery time's pretty good. As good as anyone else. Maybe better. Customer service is again good. The price point is really good. I find it really good. You know, it's going to be cheaper than a Bowtech, cheaper than a Hoyt, cheaper than a Matthews, a little bit more expensive than a PSE, but it's got more functionality than a PSE. You know, it's like maybe a couple $100 more than a PSE, but it's got more functionality. So I'm like, yeah, okay. The finish on the Elites are excellent. I've had no warranty issues. I had no cracked limbs, no nothing. So I'm very confident with Elites. Right, so saying all that, I like the bow, I like the price point, I like the features Elite have put into the Exhalt. I like all the tunability options. I like how simple everything is. The things I would think Elite could improve. I would think that if the bow was lighter, that would be a good thing. So I would like the bow to be lighter. Although the bow is so dead in my hand, it's amazing. It's literally amazing. You'd have to question whether you fit stabilizers to this bow because, like, why would you? It sits beautifully in the hand, so you're not going to need stabilizers to balance the bow. You're not going to need stabilizers to stop the bow twitching because it doesn't twitch. You may still fit stabilizers to it just because you want to, because you feel the need to. I'm not sure I feel the need to with this bow. It feels pretty good. I'd be interested in my groups with and without stabilizers, but I don't feel the need to put a stabilizer on. I would like the draw length chart added to the bow, maybe on the tag. I would like a 2-piece quiver for Elite. That's what I would like. I'd like a 2-piece quiver because you've got the Elite, you've got the fittings. You used to have a 2-piece quiver. Like, why did you drop it? I understand in America you like your 1-piece quivers, but 2-piece quiver, like one of those. Everyone else has got one, so, you know, why don't you have one? You just up your... Don't give Archer a reason to buy another brand. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't go, well, I can get a really cool quiver from a Hoyt, or I can get a really cool quiver from a Matthews. Actually, guess what? We've got the same or better quiver. That's what I want, right? I think you want a bow stand for that pickaninny mount for the bottom limb. So, because that would just make it cool. So overall, I think Elite have done a really good job with this bow. I think fitting the smooth mod to it was the right option. Because I think most people will probably use this bow for a 3D bow, and most archers are recreational. And if you're in America, you're going to say, I'm a hunter. I'm still going to say you're going to spend more time target shooting, practicing. And it's just nicer. It's just a nicer draw cycle. I question whether you need an extra 5 feet per second. And I'm going to say with the performance versus smooth mod, you get nothing for nothing. So with the smooth mod, you could probably go for 5 pounds heavier and get the same speed than with the performance mod. So why would you go for a performance mod? That's my thing, right? So with the smooth mod, you can draw more weight. So just go for a heavier bow with the Elite. So I'll leave it there. I think that is a beautiful bow. I think with that, I think about what colors I would get for myself, and I think about I'd probably get rid of the Envision and get one of those for myself. And I'm not taking away anything from any other bows on the market, because there are lots of fantastic bows on the market. I've been very happy with the verdict. I'm happy with the price point. I'm happy with all the functionality. There's really nothing there which I go, this is a glaring thing that I would like improved, that I find uncomfortable. There's just really nothing else that I go on the bow. This is something that I want or need. So with that, I think Elite has done a really good job with the Exhalt and hit that nice spot where they've got their short hunting bow, they've got their target bow, and now they've got this bow in the middle, and it's just perfect. So I'm Stephen Ham from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching.